Hi everyone, I'm DeFi Dad. You're watching episode 55 of Yield TV. Hey everyone, it's January 5th, 2021, and today we're going to be interviewing DCLBlogger, whose real name is Matty. Matty is an NFT and crypto collectibles expert. So Matty, welcome to Yield TV. How are you doing?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm doing great, and I'm very honored to be here and talk NFTs.
Oh, thanks, man. We're honored to have you. I've learned so much over the last 6 months during the pandemic, just about NFTs, the metaverse, virtual land, and all of the investing that goes into it. So this is your wheelhouse. So I'm just kind of excited to learn more from you than what I've already learned through Twitter and your YouTube videos. So yeah, actually, I feel like I just kind of summarized all the different areas that you focus on. I guess crypto collectibles is one other there that I left out. So we'll be sure to cover that. But Matty, why don't we start with your background before we start to show everyone like all the cool stuff that's happening in crypto art and beyond. How did you get into crypto?
Right, so I come from a marketing background. I've done like digital marketing for 7-8 years. And then there was a time in 2017 when Bitcoin obviously started to do its thing, going from like $1,000 to $2,000. And when it hit $3,000, I started to pay attention sometime mid-August 2017. And looking back, there was a good time. I kind of rode the wave up, threw some money at crypto, didn't know what I was doing, moonboying around, and rode the wave back down. And it was sometime in 2018 where I just started to learn about NFTs and what was going on here. But yeah, I kind of got in mid-2017, didn't really know what the tech was, and just was like, oh, NEO is going to be the Ethereum of China. All right, let's put some money there. And I see it again, like mainstream is coming back in, and I look back and some of my friends are getting into crypto, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly like my thought process was that sort of thinking. So yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, it's weird to watch others that are new coming into the space who are asking a lot of the same questions that we all asked once upon a time, and kind of they're trying to navigate, like all of the challenges of trying to like learn this space. But I gotta say, like 3 years later, like they're so lucky. From 2017 to now, there's so many resources, and even just Yield TV wouldn't have existed back then.
Totally. It can get a bit confusing though, because they start following influencers, really big influencers, and they're like, yeah, like he shares his technical analysis, and I'm like, yeah, but he shares it with thousands and thousands of people at the same time, so you're going to have this pump effect, and it's one of those things where it really takes some time to absorb and see it all play out to understand what's going on.
I think a lot of people will think that some of them can move markets, and then you have another group of people who will say, oh, no, not at all. I mean, how could they be able to move a market? And you're like, it's just what you said. Someone is speaking with thousands of people, so they're executing trades, and then they're telling everyone about it, and it's feeding like a certain FOMO. So I think we've gotten better. I mean, there's more liquidity in the markets now, which this actually kind of relates back to maybe some of what we'll talk about today with NFTs. It's a growing space. I'm excited to kind of dig into your website, Crypto Art Pulse, which tells us about all of the primary and secondary sales of NFTs. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about that with, whether there's folks that are pumping and dumping the price of NFTs. But let's start from the beginning here. Let's pretend that folks that are watching have no idea what NFTs are. So can we start with maybe how did you get into NFTs? Beyond that sort of like entrancy into crypto, and then you can describe what is an NFT.
So I got into NFTs in Jan 2018. So basically my portfolio was coming crashing down. My crypto, I think everyone's was just coming down.
Yeah.
And us newbies were frantically like running around thinking what to do. And I was like, oh, diversifying. I've heard diversifying is a good thing. I wasn't that good of an investor.
Yeah.
Or like, I didn't do stock that much. And for me, diversifying was just throwing money at different coins. Little did I know back then everything's connected, so it all just came crashing down. But one thing I did was I was like, oh, let me go try and find like another project that's low market cap that might go up. And I remember seeing this logo for Decentraland, and it was kind of like this game-looking logo, and I clicked into it, and then I joined the Discord, and I was just seeing hundreds of people buying and selling this digital land, for hundreds of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, and people were actually buying it, and I was like, whoa, this is really cool. So back then there was no Decentraland marketplace UI. There was no like clicking button to buy and sell. It was literally just negotiating via Discord, manually sending mana across, and them trusting them that they'll manually send the NFT token to your wallet. So it was really choppy, really risky. But out of like the hundreds of trades that I did, I never got scammed once, which I'm very surprised for. But the reality is that I didn't know there were NFTs until, for me, it was just like another digital asset I could park my money into. And then as the space grew bigger, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this CryptoPunks thing? What's this crypto, what's Ethermon? And all these different things came across. I realized that NFTs represent digital assets, and the non-fungible token, everything's unique. It's a token that sits on blockchain, and you can trade it, and it can really connect up to anything, whether it be an art piece, a digital land, a tweet. You can connect it to anything. It's basically a certificate of ownership of anything digital. So it's one of those places or spaces that doesn't have a definitive answer because it's so young. And every day there's a new experiment, and you're like, whoa, that can be an NFT? Like, it can be literally anything. So we're probably going to see millions of it. The most promising areas, I guess, are game assets. So in-game, when you own skins and stuff, they can be NFTs. The cool thing is that, you play Warcraft, you have a cool sword in Warcraft, that's an NFT. Maybe you can take it across to Decentraland, and Decentraland also accept that NFT as a pet, and that interoperability is there, and you can take it to CryptoVoxels and all sorts of things. So, it's hard to define exactly what it is, but on the face value, what it represents is basically anything digital of ownership.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the way Andrew Steinwald had like described it, but one of the things that he talked to me once about was just the fact that people like to collect things. You don't think about this, but this is really like how our life is, in the physical world, that we collect things. We live in a home, an apartment, whatever it is. We have a bed, we have clothes, and all of those things are unique. There could be copies of it, but they are unique, and they're unique things that we own. And so when you think about the metaverse, when you think about blockchain enabled VR worlds, especially, if you're going to spend a lot of time in there, why wouldn't you want to own stuff in there to like make it more of like your own home? And so that's always like really resonated with me. And I like what you were saying just about, it could be one of any things, the common stuff. Like, so if we're talking use cases here for anyone that's new to NFTs, you mentioned gaming. So like one day, like I think my kids will just move across different video games with like parts or weapons or skins or whatever that are interchangeable across those. They won't even have the concept of like putting like a cartridge into, a game with Nintendo.
The cartridge days.
Yeah, oh my God. So
having the CD and making sure it's not scratched.
Absolutely watch on Netflix. There's a 6-part series all about video games, and it was just so much fun. But anyways, there was the games we talked about, digital art, which I think we'll spend most of today on. What else there that comes? Actually, in terms of DeFi, which we won't really talk as much about today, is there are all sorts of use cases. Like if I buy an insurance policy, I could resell that insurance policy. It's unique to me in terms of like the terms of the policy. And so there we can use an NFT to say, hey, this policy expires in 6 months. I bought it 6 months ago. It was a 12-month policy, and I can sell that now on a secondary market. But the stuff anyways that I think we'll cover here that is just so fascinating is we're living through a global pandemic, and yet you can remain very connected with others through things like Decentraland. And in Decentraland, you then can own pieces of land, like you mentioned. You can own objects within Decentraland. And again, it's as simple to me as if you enjoy that, if you find community there, if you live in there, I mean, why shouldn't you own things there? Why shouldn't you make it your home? So I guess,
Totally.
Matty, what do you want to talk more about right now? Should we talk a little bit about recent trends in crypto art? Like we could hop into Crypto Art Pulse, or we could hop into Decentraland and start to talk through some of the art there. What's your preference?
I think we can talk about Decentraland and then switch to crypto art and the broader things that are happening, because Decentraland kind of ties a lot together, and it's easy to visualize what's happening.
And let me know. So I'll be sharing my screen, and you let me know if it starts to lag too much. But I think this will end up working out. So let me hit play, and then I'm going to share. Here we go. All right. Okay, so this is just loading here, and let me just see if we can see that. Yep. All right. All good.
Okay. Yeah, as you said, man, in Decentraland and even in crypto voxels. So as you look around.
Oh, and wait, how do I go back to third person so you can see my avatar?
V.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. There's my avatar that I've never customized.
Yeah. I think you can also turn it into day mode if you want. If it's a bit more.
Oh no, this is so cool. Whoa. So I haven't, this isn't a setup. I hadn't clicked into this. So that's Mythbase.
That's Mythbase, yeah.
That is so cool. Where would you, I can just start walking around, but let me know if there's anywhere you want me to check out.
I'm very surprised. There's actually no lag. So you're walking into Maker's Place right now, which is one of the largest art platforms.
Whoa. Oh my God. This is cool because I love crypto voxels, but I'm also like, I've been wanting to explore Decentraland more.
So this district, I think you might want to mute your tab.
Oh yeah, Matty, how do I mute the sound that I'm hearing?
You can go to settings, so you can see a little settings wheel at the bottom right.
There we go. All right, and I will turn off sound. There we go. All right, man. Yeah, keep talking. There we go.
Yeah, so this specific district that you see, and on the top left you can see a map, and you can see your little red icon. Looks like someone's near you as well. If you click the M button, it pops up the map. So press M on your keyboard.
There we go.
And you can see where you are. You can see where there's a couple more dots over there around you. And that district, which is that purple area that you're in, it's called Voltaire District. It's currently managed by the Decentraland team. So you can see there's some projects there: Pixel Chain, Maker's Place, Super Rare, Known Origin, the largest kind of art platforms currently. And you can walk around and check that out. And you can see there's a bunch of...
That is so cool. Wow, this is all new to me. Oh my God, I feel so dumb that I haven't checked this out yet. Yeah. Wow, this is, oh my God, so cool. Sorry, Matty, keep going.
Awesome, man. Yeah, so right now you're in Super Rare. If you actually go out, you can see the building. It's really cool. And I think you can buy the art off the wall. So if you click on the art itself, it should open Super Rare, and then
there we go.
Yeah, I think eventually they'll probably... Yeah, I think eventually they'll embed what's actually happening. But when I see Decentraland, I kind of view it as a place where, I'm not sure if you played RuneScape, but it's kind of like this virtual world where hopefully you can buy and sell digital goods and assets, whether it be your art in your wallet or game assets, as easy as just clicking on someone's profile, putting up a swap request, and then just changing it and interchanging goods and value that way. But there's so many different areas. So if you click M again, we can switch into a more businessy area.
Absolutely. All I just did there is just tweeting that out so that hopefully others can join us in there, because it's just so freaking cool. Okay, what button should I press now, Matty?
You can click M once again.
M. Oh, there we go. Yep, awesome.
And just drag the map down.
Oh, okay. Oh man, this is so intuitive too. Like, this is cool. I love crypto voxels, but this ability to jump from place to place is definitely an improvement here on Decentraland.
So keep scrolling down, so keep dragging it down a little bit. So just to explain what's going on here, just so that everyone's kind of watching. The green boxes that you see, they're called Genesis Plazas. There's a central one there on your left, DeFi Dad, where you can see there's some dots, and that's where everyone's spawning in.
Very cool.
And you can see people come in and then you go check it out. But where I want to take you, we can jump in there.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah, I'm like quick to just like, let's go. Yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, I'm so surprised it's working smoothly on your laptop.
Yeah,
Usually when I stream and
you know, one thing I did right at the start of the pandemic was I bought the computer that I need. Finally, I bought a powerful laptop versus I've been living for years with always.
Sorry, go back a bit. Just go back a bit. You're running away from the thing I wanted to show you. So if you go back there, keep going down into the center area. On the right, it should have. So keep going down there, and it looks like they took it out. There was like an arcade that you can start playing games with people. It looks like it's not there. Cool. But anyway, this is like the kind of Genesis area which they're going to upgrade. It's where they've held quests like the Halloween quest and all sorts of things. Kind of where people come in, and soon they'll have like pop-ups where you can jump into events and things straight away. But you should be able to meet some people here, talk to them, walk around, check out like what's going on, what the buildings are, and all that. But a lot of this is not, I guess, user-generated content. Well, one place I really want to take you, if you click M once again.
There we go. Yeah,
and you go all the way to the right. You can see another district there.
Okay.
So that's another district, and that's the business district.
Business, and where should I go near here? Anything here you'd recommend?
So on the top right of that district, so when I say district, so I'm talking about the purple thing. I guess you can, the top right corner of that district. This. No, the top right corner of that district. So on the left, or that purple box on your left.
Left. Yeah.
Of that.
Cool. And any one of these Crypto Valley Art Gallery, the Crypto Valley?
No. So the top right corner of it. So if you go, about there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is an area that Decentraland also manage. So this is where they've kind of onboarded quite a lot of companies. You have the Meme Project. You've got Matty. Who are this? You got Binance. So you've just bought it right in front of Binance.
Holy cow! That is so wow. This is nuts. How cool this is! Like, I gotta say, like, so I'm on a laptop that I think I have a pretty large screen here, but I mean, whatever. It's not that much bigger than the old computer I had, and it is so immersive when you look at all of this. It's just like, I mean, I obviously don't have a headset on, but I really do feel like immersed in it, like in a world here. I guess if I go back to V here, if I go back to third person, even then it's fun. I'd almost say I could almost get motion sickness if I kept doing this.
But look, like you can see on your right there, you can see the Make a DAO building.
Oh, whoa. I didn't know all of this exists in here. Wow. I'm not stable, but my DAI is. Oh my god, this is so cool! Wow.
And that's a crypto crypto motors car over there, which you can't really drive it. You go to this Crypto Kitties just for fun. Crypto Kitties behind you.
Oh, let's see. I see where they are. Hold on, let me go back to. This is easier, I think, for people to see. Whoa.
They just follow you around.
Oh my god, this is great.
Just click on the ground somewhere.
So for those that are totally new to this, like what we were just discussing a few moments ago, it's about with NFTs, especially in the metaverse here, it's about owning stuff. And that goes to these cars. These are NFTs, right? Made by Crypto Motors. Yeah,
they can be. At the moment, they're just models, but they can be made NFTs, and eventually that's the plan.
I mean, this is what do you call a piece of land in Decentraland? Just land, or is it
just land? Yeah, the token is LAND. Just land token.
Got it. And gosh, do you mind sharing? Like, what were you paying for land back in the days when it was on Telegram versus how much would land cost today?
So back then, you could have gotten land. I think in the auction, the first auction, most land was picked up for about 1,000 mana, so about $100. Currently, the cheapest is 7,000 mana. But it reached a point sometime, I think last year, where the cheapest land was like 15,000 mana. So it fluctuates quite a lot. But it's one of those things that over time, as more people come in and grab the land, it's such a big landscape, and there's like 45,000 pieces of land that there's always liquidity of people selling, people buying. But the more people that are buying and building experiences and long-term holding, slowly and slowly, we're seeing the organic growth of the price of land. And currently, it's about 8,000 mana for the cheapest land, which is about 700 USD, 700, 800 USD.
Wow. Wow. And another, I think, like aspect of that newcomers won't be familiar with is it's just like the physical world. You know, if you're in an area of Decentraland where there's more that's been built, there's more activity, there's something desirable to go visit, that piece of land, I'd imagine, becomes more valuable over time. I mean, it's what people would be willing to pay for it. So the idea of investing in virtual land, which I've heard you talk about before, that's what blew my mind like a while back. I'm like, this is nuts. Like, you could be a full-time investor in virtual lands. And
totally, man.
Yeah.
I actually made most of my money in the crypto space just buying and selling land. When you learn the market dynamics and how it works, for example, we're here in the Crypto Valley, and if you just click M again, I might explain what the whole map kind of looks like.
Let me see here. Oh, and actually, wait, just before we go, so this is okay, there we go. This is meme. I remember hearing about this and not being able to. This is so cool. Matty, are you able to fly in Decentraland?
Not yet, but I know where they're working on it. I've prototyped it.
I can't wait. Okay, here we go.
Really
cool. Where should I go?
So just to quickly explain, so all those purple boxes around you, they're called districts, and they're kind of like community managed areas that are working to build them out. Those little gray pixels that you see, so the dark gray boxes,
Yes.
the dark gray pixels, that they are all user-owned land. So some people have joined their lands together. And when you join your lands together, you have a higher builder limit. So there's like a log formula where if you join, say, 10 to 20 pieces together, then suddenly you can build like 100 meters as opposed to a single land, which is about 20 meters.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the roads obviously are the lines and all that sort of stuff. But just to give you an idea of how that works. And like you said, you can own everything here. So from things like your name, so I've got the name Satoshi Nakamoto, or you can jump into what's going on there. This is the kind of like a gallery district that we're making. So on the right, you see those two dots?
Yeah, these battle racers.
No. The red dots. The red dots.
Oh, the red dots. Sorry, here we go.
Yeah, there we go. It shows people. So we can just jump in there. This is actually really cool because I have a land here, and I have land here with Jamie from Outlier Ventures and like 10 to 15 really top art collectors, and we're all building an art gallery, like an art district. So
when you say you're building an art gallery, so are you contracting with someone who's a builder? Indeed, yeah. That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. Like, how much money are people paying? I realize it depends on what you build, but can you give like a ballpark figure of what people are paying to build?
Yeah, of course. Quickly, if you go on your left, you can see the 100x gallery, which is Jamie from Outlier Ventures.
Wow, that is so cool.
And I think you know the guys that made this. So this is crypto, the voxel builders, which is Leandro and
gosh, those guys are brilliant.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh my god, all the stuff they build is so cool. I love all of their everything they built in crypto boxes. I think is like the Token Smart Lounge, the Token Smart Stadium.
Every time I see it, I'm like, whoa! Look, they were one of the first people to make something, and I was like, holy shit! Wait, so crypto voxels can do this? And there's one of those.
That's what I said too, was like I was already like, this is fun. You know, I get to like look at art and walk around and do whatever I want. It's fun. But then I was like, wow, so this is how sophisticated it's already gotten, and it's only going to get better because it's different. It's a different feel, that voxel feel than what we're looking at here, where you have smooth edges.
So one thing I wanted to really touch on, especially with Decentraland, visually, it is all kind of cool. But they're currently implementing, I guess, like limits, because at the moment everything is browser loaded and they were still a bit buggy and all that sort of stuff. So as they increase the limits of what quality type things you can build, it should get a lot more smoother, shadows baked in, a lot more clearer, cooler, and VR should be implemented. And one really, really cool thing about Decentralized is, I guess, how far they're taking the decentralized aspect of it. Because the content is actually hosted on community managed servers. So there's like 10 to 15 servers that host the content. And you can't actually shut Decentraland down. So Decentraland themselves don't have a kill switch for the content on Decentraland.
That's really important, because that's the thing that's scary about all of this. And it's also actually maybe a reminder, I think, that like this part of the crypto community has really been, I think, very pragmatic. Like this is a crazy radical experiment just to make all of it work. It's not going to be perfectly decentralized from day one, but there's risk, obviously. Like you're owning that, and you think like, well, what happens if these guys just shut down? But I think we're almost like past that. Like I feel like this is there's just so much traction, such a strong community. There's no way anyone's ever gonna shut down at this point.
So. And a couple more cool things is that the voice chat that they're implementing and they're kind of rolling out slowly, it's peer-to-peer. So it doesn't move through a centralized server. And if you're on here, no one can record you, because it moves just from your computer to someone else's computer. So it opens the doors to people coming in and talk about whatever they want and know that they're not being recorded by the server that they're on. And it's working straight P2P. That, and there's also the fact that there's a governance part of Decentraland where whether you have land as NFTs or mana, then you have weight in governing the 22 million mana per year funds that we have, which is currently about a couple million USD for this year's funds, and that's going to be distributed across whatever we think is right. So if we think we should focus on VR client, or we think we should fund a proposal that comes through, then the community can vote on that. And I think factors where funding a team and community-generated content and something that has a long-lasting appeal, I think those are kind of winning factors for anything to exist in a strong position in the metaverse. I don't think there'll be one winner. There'll be multiple people, multiple projects that contribute to the space. So this is just one of the projects. Obviously, there's CryptoVoxels and Somnium Space and all this cool stuff happening. But excited.
Matty, do you see like an interoperability between these, like in the near future? I'm trying to remember what their name is. I met someone who's incredible who runs
Jin?
studio. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. What's the name again?
Jin.
Oh my gosh. So Jin is in case anyone doesn't know, Jin's a super talented developer who's working across CryptoVoxels and VR chat and Decentraland. And like, I remember Jin was showing us in their TV studio, like they were like recording in CryptoVoxels, but also we're doing stuff in here. So anyways, yeah, like I guess, like, is there a way for someone to move between worlds right now, or are these still pretty separate?
I think at the moment they're separate because there's just so much more bug fixing to do. There's more stabilization. There's still a lot of focus that these projects, like Decentraland's only, I guess, 9 months public. They're still kind of collecting feedback and fine-tuning everything, right? And even CryptoVoxels, it's a bit buggy when you go in and you have 100 people and trying to do voice chat. There's a couple of issues there. But I'm sure like maybe Q2, Q3 this year, 2021, we should start seeing, all right, well, our community is pretty satisfied. How do we kind of interop? How do we take these GLB 3D files across? How do we accept, CryptoVoxels names and avatars and wearables and really create like this feeling that no matter where you go, you can take your assets and give them all value. Interoperability is definitely like one of the golden features of this space, and I think it's something that we should all embrace and push. But yeah, games and metaverse projects take their time to kind of fine tune a little bit.
So awesome, man. I'm overwhelmed in here. There's like so much I want to click on. Let's see, Matty, what else do you think is worth showing off here right now in Decentraland? Because I realize we're kind of just trying to like experience it, but also like talk through like all the expertise that you have here for those that are newcomers.
I think I'll just share my screen real quickly if I can.
Absolutely.
And I'll show you some of the really cool projects that are building on Decentraland.
There we go. Oh, I feel so much better now that I'm not staring at that. I was like, yeah, it's like taking your headset off. You're like, oh, okay, I can like look straight ahead now. Here we go. And once you're on the tab you want to be on, there we go. I'll add it. All right, there we go.
Cool. So this is the Kraken building that recently had an experience with DJ Blau, and a
Wow.
lot of people came, and there was like a full-on light show, and you could jump in and you would fly around on these bubbles. And we have a really good, talented art developer team that take control and kind of build this out for like really big events like Christmas, etc. But yeah, if you check out like the depth of this building, it is insane. Like you could do so much. My keyboard's being weird, or else I would have dragged and shown you a lot of other stuff. But anyway, that, and then also so Kraken and like high caliber projects like MakerDAO and Binance, etc., are starting to, I guess, find value in the metaverse, whether they deploy it on CryptoVoxels and Somnium Space or Decentraland. Decentraland definitely has like 10 to 15 currently deployed, and maybe 10 to 15 in the pipeline that they're working on deploying HQs. And we're starting to see more mainstream companies come in. So not just crypto companies now, like people that want to be exposed to the crypto world or NFTs are starting to look at Decentraland as a signaling thing, where if we build a HQ here, then suddenly people take us seriously.
Wow.
That has value there, because you can appeal to the community of the NFT space or the crypto space and beyond. So that's really cool.
I mean, like the creativity of that too is mind blowing to look at. Like, I'm taking for granted that someone designed all of this, aside from the fact that it's made possible in Decentraland, and that we're talking about all of this being enabled by NFTs. Actually, one quick question: as I look at all of this, and I remember seeing like notes or tweets or whatever, news about Binance and Kraken putting this stuff in place. Do they all know that this is, powered by Ethereum, that NFTs are powered by Ethereum?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm kidding, but I mean, like, this is a cool bridge to me. Like, there's a lot of I'm always very hopeful that there are folks who are closed off for one reason or another to Ethereum and to DeFi, and that this is something that like they could use as an on-ramp to realize, like, hey, there's some like really cool use cases here that I could be benefiting from. It's not always just about holding some Bitcoin. So anyways.
Yeah, I think the visual aspect of what a project like Decentraland and CryptoVoxels can do is suddenly people visually understand the power of Ethereum. Like there's no reason why we can't have a DeFi bank where you can stake, you can pool, you can withdraw your profits in MakerDAO. Like there's no reason you can't go into Decentraland and do those sort of things. And you can have a world where you're doing that while talking to someone. Then suddenly, you're interacting with Ethereum visually, and it makes a lot more sense to people like a friend, like my friends or my wife, who doesn't really want to know much about the tech stuff. She can jump in and be like, oh, okay, cool. I can just use this and change my crypto if I want to.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's so cool. Gosh, anything else, Matty, that you think you're covering in the metaverse? Because we really could spend the rest of the time still in here. Hop into CryptoVoxels if there's anything there you wanted to show off. But I definitely want to make sure that we take advantage of some of your insights with crypto art as well.
For sure. I'll quickly just
through what's here. What's the meta zone?
Oh man, MetaZone is really cool. So MetaZone is a project by a couple of guys, the Block Runner team, and what you can do, so developers and creators can come and build games. So what you see here are games. So Ethermon have made some metas. They call them metas, and us landowners can take them. We can buy them and deploy them on our land. So imagine owning these games as NFTs on your land, and there's only a limited amount of them, and then selling them if you don't like it, or renting them. Say you want to just hire a gallery or something for like a day. You hire that gallery and then you give it back. So suddenly you can do so much with NFTs and user-generated content. It's more than just wearables and stuff. It's guns, and you can wear wearables in this game, and it gives you like extra guns and stuff in their zombie shooting game that they've made. But the power is insane, and MetaZone have done about 3 million mana in sales so far, which is, a few $100,000. It's crazy what they've done so far. And you can buy tip jars, you can buy video screens, you can buy all sorts of things. So, this is a one way of how someone's building a project around the metaverse and what's possible. So that's why I just wanted to quickly highlight that.
I just will never understand how you can't be interested in this. It's so nuts, all the like creativity that goes into this and everything that's been built. It's just, yeah, this is the best. I always like, I literally set up these episodes selfishly just so that I get to jump into the metaverse with you and like Matthew from Send and the Token Smart guys. They're just so much like brilliance going on here. Gosh, anything else there in terms of Decentraland or the MetaZone that you wanted to share? Oh, here.
No, I think we can go on for a long time, but the value proposition continues to grow across the metaverse. So, for example, like now, I think it'll be good to jump to the art space, and then suddenly, one really cool thing about art is that as art collectors start to see their values appreciate, where they're sitting on portfolios worth 6 to 7 figures, suddenly buying land and building a gallery makes total sense. And then building a social media account for that gallery, and then slowly acquiring art under that gallery's brand name and building a digital presence. And that gives value, and it justifies the prices that you have to pay to buy land in CryptoVoxels or Decentraland.
Before we talk about crypto art, do you think you could share like just a few tips on like how would you get started in Decentraland? Like just any sort of tips or tricks to do that?
Decentraland, it's such a deep project. I think the Discord you can't go wrong with. I try my best to cover the marketplace analytics and all that sort of stuff. But I think just trying it out, going to just decentraland.org and jumping into any of those worlds. And also events.decentraland.org. Maybe that's a good one to share, actually.
There was decentraland.org. And what was the other one you just mentioned?
So go to events.decentraland.org.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to put that up here as well. Events.decentraland.org. Here we go.
It might be really good to just open that up and
yeah, here, let me try that here. Events.decentraland.org. And then let me share my screen here.
Sorry, I'm quickly going to go grab my charger.
Please, yeah, don't worry. Go ahead. I'm going to load this up here. Oh. If anyone's tuning in, we're gonna check out one more thing here in Decentraland once Matty gets back, and then we'll talk more about trends in crypto art. We're kind of like overdue for my kids when I do interviews, like because at this time it's like closer to 6 o'clock my time. This is normally where they'll like pop in and be like, start to be like, Dad, what are you doing? It's 6 o'clock at night. And I'm like, just leave Daddy alone. Daddy's in the metaverse right now. Daddy's really, really important things right now. Okay, here we go. So I'm here, Matty. Let me know what we should check out. It looks like this is a place where I can learn about events.
Yeah, it is. So basically, if you want to hold any event on your land, you can list it on events.decentraland.org. You can connect it to your calendar so it reminds you. You can jump right into the land when it is the time to go to. So this is usually when it comes to these metaverse projects, the land is just so big that if you go in there, you're probably going to find no one. But if you keep on top of the events and you jump into these events when they're happening, then you can, that's when you meet everyone. So conferences that I hold, I'll put an event here, gallery openings, exhibitions, game nights, all sorts of fun things they get put on here, and everyone just monitors what's going on here to see every day what to jump into.
So cool. I love this. Let's see here. God, I had a follow-up question to that. Does it cost money to go to events, or are all of these open, free? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, everything's free. Everything's open to do whatever you want.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, so where does it ever cost money to access parts of Decentraland? Like, I know it costs money to own it, to claim a parcel, to own objects within the metaverse there. But yeah, is there any part of Decentraland that isn't accessible where you'd have to actually pay money?
I mean, you can build an experience where you have like an NFT as a ticket. You maybe have to buy the NFT or pay an entrance fee to play, but that's really up to the user to create on his land if he wants to create an experience like that. But Decentraland themselves is completely open source. Even their
That's
content's open
great.
source.
No,
You
no,
can
no.
download.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. The default to just everything being open is it's something I'll never stop appreciating.
Yeah.
When I got into crypto voxels and I first walked into like a parcel, I'm like, I was talking with a friend who had been in it, and I'm like, so am I going to get in trouble here? Because like this is someone's parcel, right? I'm not supposed to go in. And they're like, no, man, everything's open, and you can fly. That's the best part of it, is that you can.
Yeah. Flying is really cool. I hope Decentraland implement that. I'm really looking forward to flying in VR, which I'm dying for. I just want to go into this stuff in VR when we have events and things.
Me too. One last question on Decentraland. Do you know anything about an Oculus app coming? Like, is that anywhere in the near future where I could be able to put on, my headset?
They'll have to introduce VR first. So I think what they're kind of fixed all the stabilization and stuff now in Decentraland. And I think VR is definitely going to be a focus this year. So it will it's on the roadmap. VR is on the roadmap, so it will definitely cater to Oculus and.
Very cool. Well, here, let's talk the last few minutes then about crypto art. And I guess, would it be helpful for me to pull up your website, cryptoartpulse.com?
I can pull it up myself because I can navigate it. Yeah. So yeah, crypto art is definitely one of the shining lights, that the stars, at least in the last couple of months, in terms of volume and interest and what's going on.
Yeah.
We are seeing so much volume come through. And just to give you guys an example, I'm not sure how many of your listeners were kind of watching the Beeple drop. Am I streaming okay, by the way?
You are all good to go. Yep. And if you just stay on that tab, you can just walk us through it.
Yeah. So Ferocious, an 18-year-old artist, dropped art pieces on Nifty Gateway, and within a 24-hour period sold 373,000 USD.
She's so cute.
And just turned 18 and is moving out. And you can imagine in April, Ferocious was selling physical art pieces for about $250 for like one piece. And here, a 374,000 USD drop for nothing physical or digital. And I have a physical piece, and I'm probably estimating the value of that being like $30,000 to $40,000, just because of how much of a popular artist Ferocious has become. But the art space is just growing immensely. And to just give you an idea, and again, like Beeple, I guess made famous from his $3.5 million worth of sales that he's made in the 24 or 48-hour period. And a website I kind of made for one myself, because I really wanted to track everything. So for example, what this website does is it's a feed of all the sales coming in. So whether it be Super Rare or Maker's Place or whatever it is, you can just search whoever. It just shows you all the recent sales. So Jan 6th, today's sales, all that's happened, and you can kind of see the artist. And the most important thing is you can see the sale price. And I think my keyboard's gone weird. Sorry, man. I think you might have to share your screen, because for some reason my keyboard just uses its keys.
That's okay. Yeah. I've got it handy here. Let me go ahead and stop sharing yours, and I'll put mine up here. And then, just guide me. Here we go. All right. So, any artists you want me to search for? Like,
so if you can, just search Firo. And what you can see there is all the sales that have been made on Super Rare specifically. This doesn't feed in with Nifty Gateway yet. We're working on it. But if you scroll all the way down, you can see the first sales that Ferocious used to make was around 4.5 Ethereum, right? 4.5. And now, as you scroll up, you can see them slowly increase in value as the popularity of the artist continued to grow, with the recent sale go for 35 Ethereum on December 2nd.
Crazy. That's so nuts here. Let me try to share that tab just so people can see that piece that we're talking about. Wow. I mean, it's so cool. Like crypto art is just, to me, it's so much more fun than legacy art. And obviously that I'm painting with broad brush strokes, like crypto art and traditional art. Like there's so much creativity within either. But I mean, you just look at this, like it's got all this depth. And does it have sound? Oh no, no sound on this one, but
Well, like art can really be anything. Like someone can make a virtual experience on Decentraland as an NFT. That could be an art visually on Super Rare, but it could also be a house. You're living in an artist building. And who knows how far they can push this. But
this actually, before we stop talking about Fuocious for a moment, so this is an artist that Anthony Pompliano commissioned. So like, how does that work? Because like what I know in my short time in this world is, I go to Super Rare, I go to Rareable or Maker's Place, and shoot, what's the one that we were just talking about? Nifty Gateway.
Nifty Gateway.
And folks list their art, and then I can bid, and they can potentially accept it, or maybe there's a reserve price. But it's all basically auctions and list prices, and that's really cool to me. It's this very like vibrant market where, by the way, let me see if I can get out. There we go. It's this very vibrant market where creators can easily sell their art. I guess not easily in every case, but I mean, if you go on Super Rare, especially, like that's a curated marketplace. Like it's just insane to see how quickly pieces sell. So I guess, how does that different from like commissioning? And I guess I'm like asking, like, does that at all like concern you? Like, could we see more work commissioned, or do you think we'll continue to see people just list and auction and sell?
I think we'll see a lot more. I know artists actually don't like doing commissions because, one, they don't get paid as much, and two, it's always the client. Like if you get a picky client to deal with, no one likes to deal with clients because they have demands, and sometimes some of them are really annoying to deal with. So I know that artists actually don't like doing too many commissions, and the fact that you can make your own art and sell your own art through your social profile and something like Super Rare was a big deal to them. And also get paid a decent amount for it. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars for a digital piece is huge money, right, for anyone, let alone an artist. But I think what we're moving to now is like in this digital space where you have control over your own marketing, you have control over your own security, your finances. There is no middleman. And usually I think in the legacy art world, usually it's the galleries or the dealers that have the say, the critics that have the say as to what's relevant, what's not. And now with Twitter, you can have a profile with like 30, 40,000 followers that love your art. You can sell direct to them using something like Super Rare on-chain. All bids you can see are tracked on-chain, which is really cool because you can track the history of who's bid on what. And I think that the ability to communicate and transfer wealth and your creations digitally has unlocked this new kind of path to the digital world where it's not about the middlemen kind of critiquing or having a say, or I think the middlemen in this case can be larger influencers where they can pick up an artist and suddenly be like, well, we think this artist is the best artist. And, people listen to that because this person has hundreds of thousands of followers, and that somebody will drive the demand there. So I think in that way, we're going to start seeing influencers or big accounts start to realize that, hey, wait a second, we have power as to what these are worth. But as an artist, there's no reason why you can't yourself be really, forward with content creating. I know Josie does a lot of this. Josie runs like her own Twitch channel. She does interviews. She does wearables for different projects. She's integrated everywhere. Everyone loves her work. She drops not that frequently, so it has that collectability wallet. I really love. I don't think she's not on Super Rare.
Probably not on Super Rare.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's...
But if you go to Crypto Art Pulse, then you can search her on other.
Let's do that. Yeah. Let's go back to Crypto Art Pulse. I mean, I have tried to like explain this to my wife. That this crypto art has staying power. That it's just, to me, like I I actually almost feel like it's demeaning at times to differentiate and to have to say crypto art, because I'm like, it's just art, but it's like a new platform that I think makes it easier for one to, again, to be a creator that can list their art and sell it without having to go through what we were talking about earlier, which were basically middlemen. Like there's a lot of middlemen in the legacy art world, and maybe they dress up in a nice suit and they speak really politely, but
even like consultants.
I'm not I think this is like every other trend in history. Do you go and talk to someone to go book your flight? Do we need real estate agents? Not really. Just go to Zillow.com or go to some place that lists all of the real estate, or go to Redfin, whatever. Same thing here with art. Like, it makes sense that creators should be able to easily reach their audience. And man, I mean, this stuff is just radical to look at, like how the prices have gone up.
So if you click on Josie, and you, did that work? No, just give it a refresh. Just give the site a refresh.
Here we go.
And then just search Josie, so not the whole,
There we go.
You scroll down. And the cool thing is you can see the secondary sales there. So you see a lot of green there because you can compare the primary and the secondary sales.
Wow.
And maybe you just click on that first, so you can see that first one. Josie does multiple editions of some of her work. So I think this one has 21 different pieces. So it's all for, if you click the plus sign on the far right, on that.
On the far right. Let's see. I'm sorry. Here we go. Got it.
And then you can see the date. So on July 2nd, it was sold for 1.5. Jan 1st, it was sold for 4 Ethereum. Wow. And you can see the slow, I guess, you can see the increase in value, and you can see the multiple times Josie sold like 10, 15 pieces in the month of December, which is quite a lot for an artist who hasn't dropped art for a while. And you can just for me, it's good because analytically you can see demand, you can see how their career is playing out economically as an investor. If you want to do it purely as an investor, obviously collective value, I'd love to have a Josie piece regardless. But just the health of the market.
Yeah. This is the thing is, you look and you realize that the art is not only selling, but it's selling on a secondary market, and that's incredible to me. Like that's
very important.
When you hear, what was it, like Peter McCormick a long time ago, like he made some tweets about like, oh, what if you just screenshot it? This is all.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe he's changed his mind since then, but this is the sort of stuff that I normally like to show friends to say, I mean, no, you can't just screenshot this stuff. Sure, you could screenshot it, and I guess you could put it on your desktop, and like, I guess if that means something to you, fantastic. But the value, the fact that you can't resell it, the fact that you couldn't authenticate that this is an actual piece, like that means something, and that's where this market adds so much value. That's why this is also interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like if you love Josie as an artist of what she does, a lot of people want to collect her work. So you can't collect her work by just screenshotting it. It has no collector value, right? It has utility value. I mean, you can put it on your wall. You've definitely captured the utility value of it. You can look at it. You can share it with your friends on the phone. You can put it as your wallpaper, but you have zero collector marketplace value. And that's where the official authenticated Josie released NFT will mean something, where you spend that money of 1.5 Ethereum. And if you've done it right, as she grows in her career, then the interest in her art will increase, and you've got yourself an investment, a collector piece, and suddenly you're part of Josie's journey or this artist's journey.
Exactly. Like I went to the Norman Rockwell Museum in the last year, and Norman Rockwell's images are everywhere. He made this iconic art that to this day we have copies of everywhere. Does that diminish the value of it? Does that mean that the original piece is worthless because I've got it on a coaster, for putting my coffee on the table? Like, no. And that to me is the best parallel to describe like the magic of the crypto art market right now. Like the utility we talked about, it's cool. Like, I mean, I love the fact that I can just look at it. Like, that's a part of like, having the internet. You can learn so much, and I can look at these beautiful images, but no one's going to pay me for that.
No. And then you can also, I guess, and this is where we come into the financial protocol, the finance part of NFTs, is you can take it to NFTFi and you can lock that as collateral, take a loan on it, because there's a marketplace observed value of, say, 10 Ethereum for a piece, and maybe you can take a 5 Ethereum loan on it, back it as collateral, plug it into Niftex and fractionalize it and release, lock it up in a contract, release 10,000 shards or fraction pieces as ERC20s and have that sell that to people as a collector. And you can suddenly do all these things, plugging this NFT into financial protocols that unlock all sorts of things. And like you touched on before, you can wrap insurance as NFTs, and that's, I guess, the background stuff of NFTs that I also really, really like, because suddenly there's a front end visual realization of things, and there's the marketplace stuff that you can do, and then there's like the things that you can do when you plug it into these, financial protocols that unlock a lot of value. I mean, who wouldn't love to lock up their NFT and take a loan on it if you really need the money instead of going to the bank? How big of a deal is that?
Is that live, Matty?
It's live, man. It is live. It's happening. Yeah.
Is that worth showing just a sec? It was NFTFi.
Yeah. Fi with a FI.
Shoot, hold on. Let me just connect my MetaMask, and we can just show it really quickly here.
There's definitely been some loans taken out on all sorts of things. So art, land.
Wow. So use your NFTs as collateral, which normally we're all used to using, something like Ether or wrapped Bitcoin, something that is a store of value to us that we can borrow, let's say, stable coins against. How does this work, though? I think I remember looking at this a while back. Like, am I put up your NFTs as collateral for a loan or offer loans to let others use your non-fungible tokens? Yeah. Is anyone actually like borrowing like a stable coin, or are they actually borrowing the NFT?
No, they're borrowing. They're locking up the NFT and taking out a loan.
Oh, wow.
As ERC20s, like as Ethereum or whatever someone's willing to lend, really.
Wow.
So I think if you click on loans, you can actually see active loans. So just
active.
I think it'll load for a bit.
Maybe that one. Maybe under stats. Is that where I would? Total loan volume. So yeah, 741.7 Ether of loans. Top lenders, top borrowers. So top borrowers having borrowed 76.53 ETH, which is about $76,000 right now, $98,000 lent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. I didn't
see the loan there, biggest loan. So someone's taken a loan on that Decentraland piece for 34 Ethereum.
Wow. That's cool. So, okay. So this is as simple as that. I guess, okay, if I go back here just a sec, lend or borrow. Okay. So if I look here, okay. And then these are some of the stuff that I own now. So I've started to collect and
got some meme cards. I like it.
Honestly, actually the coolest thing in the world, I haven't, I didn't tweet about it or talk about it because I like almost, I was so grateful and so sort of like shocked. Illustrator, who I don't know him personally, but I follow him as a collector, and I was, just calling out like how cool this thing is, and this piece GameCube too, and he actually got the piece and he gave it to me, which is nuts to say. Like I was like, what? I like
that guy is a legend, man. He bought someone a piece for just he bought like one of the Ethereum pieces for like $7,000 and just gifted it to someone who was like tweeting about people. Basically.
Yeah, Cooper Turley. That's it.
Yeah, Cooper. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, from Audius. Yeah, Cooper's awesome.
Cooper's really good.
That's why, honestly, I remembered when Cooper said it, I was like, what? He gave you that? Like, oh my God, what? Like, not just like you're lucky because you got a cool piece of art, but like it has a lot of value. Like we recognize the value. So like, actually, hold on. I need to show this because this is so cool.
So Tim Kang is someone who I guess you can say has FU money. Like he's probably a very early investor.
Because this is supposedly worth 1 ETH. I mean, he bought it for 1 ETH, so to me, it's got to be worth at least 1 ETH. But look at this. Anyways, so cool.
Yeah, there was 10
It's my
pieces of
favorite piece that I have now. So
yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, this artist is great. Like you can search, and the way I found that is because I watch Crypto Art Pulse every day, and then I see like, well, this artist just sells 10 pieces, and then you can see the collectors. You can see Tim Kang, you can see the wallet addresses, and a healthy collector distribution is really good too. You don't want the same collector buying out all the pieces because that's not really showing spread demand, right? But if you have 5 or 10 collectors collecting, a drop of 15, then you're like, oh, wait a second, there's some collecting. Now, if this artist releases a 1-of-1, it'll matter because there's actually collectors going for it.
Yeah. I mean, I've really learned so much, and this is cool to hear you say some of it because I'm like, okay, this is good. This is affirming what I figured. Like, because I started to collect from certain artists, and I was thinking like, shoot, like should probably be trying to get pieces elsewhere as well, just because I think there is a little bit of an addiction that develops. Everyone talks about it. You get into crypto art and you're like, whoa, and a few days go by, and if you can find something you can afford, you can basically just keep buying every day. And I had to set some rules for myself. Like, okay, I'm going to buy more than this every week.
Especially with like Nifty Gateway, man. Like the FOMO mechanics that they have is just like every time there's a 5-minute open edition, I'm on the call with a friend of mine, and my friend is just like all in, right? He's like, Matty, we need to get some of these pieces. I'm like, dude, if there's too much of it bought, there's going to be oversupply. But with the 5-minute timeline, when it's open and you can just see hundreds of people buying, a part of you just wants to buy it and be part of it. And it's one of those things in, I guess, the whole blockchain space where you want to buy something just because you want to own a piece of it. Like some of these people don't even look for investment, or like a way to kind of protect their wealth or park their wealth. It's more just like, oh, I want this piece because it's Josie's piece, or it's a
there's a competition that takes over. I've definitely found myself with like an inner monologue as I'm like clicking. I'm like, oh, you think you're gonna outbid me there? Yeah. And then actually the most ridiculous one was for Gitcoin. Kevin Owocki listed a bunch of pieces of art, and it was meant to help raise money for Gitcoin grants. Well, for one reason or another, no one bid on them, and they were really cool. There was a bunch of images of the Moloch god for Moloch DAO, and I just thought it was cool. Anyways, I bid 0.1 ETH, which is kind of where I normally start bidding and kind of where I like to try to stay. It's now becoming too little to bid on much of anything on some of these platforms. And someone outbid me literally like hours before. And then I waited until like minutes before and punched through the transaction and beat them by like 0.01 ETH and was like, haha, I am so smart. Now, Kevin said that he was going to end the auction there. Well, I'm sure he was busy, so he didn't end the auction there. And then that guy or girl, whoever it was, then put in another bid of 0.01, like, screw you, DeFi dad. Then I went back in and did it. We went back and forth, and I like literally was like, I should have been just like hanging out with my kids, and I'm just like, that's right, yeah. Like, and I didn't win it. So I didn't win it in the end. I just went back and forth.
Yeah,
I hope whoever laughed. Yeah. I'm sure
feel like you lost a part of you that you never had.
That's right. Yeah. And I'm sure whoever got that was like, pounding the walls like, yes, I did it. I got it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's weird. It's a weird feeling because I was also in a bidding war for one of Jose Del Bo's earlier pieces. And
cool.
It went to 14 Ethereum, me and him bidding against each other because it was the number 10 out of 10. But all of the 9 pieces that sold for only about 1.5 Ethereum. So I was like way overspending by like at least 6 to 7 Ethereum. But because every time I bid, it was just tweeted out to everyone. And Super was like, who was it? Maker's Place was like, oh, new bid by Matty. And then everyone knew what was going on. And I was like, well, I can't lose this. I'm freaking DCLBlogger. Like, I got to win this. And then anyway, I wasn't going to spend more than 14 Ethereum. But it's interesting, the FOMO mechanics and social media and everything's tying into really accelerating the space, whether that's good or bad. And sometimes I think, like, is this speculator kind of FOMO sustainable? Usually, obviously it's not, but that part of it will always be in the industry because it's social media. And the ability to like transact value so quickly means that everyone can participate.
Yeah, I just am really overwhelmed by everything that's just going on in crypto art. What you were mentioning earlier, that is, what's the name of that artist? Like he's a famous, what's the proper term for it? Like he animated all the comics for years. DC.
Oh yeah, Jose
Delbo, and yeah, just I mean the pieces of art are so cool. It goes from like Star Wars to Batman to Wonder Woman. You look at this stuff and it's, I mean, the single edition, he actually has quite a few there that have multiple copies. But single editions, geez, they go for so much money. I
was really super lucky that I own one of the single editions. So I got in really early, and there wasn't that much of a bidding war for that for some reason, back when Whale Shark was collecting all of his pieces. And I got it for like 11 Ethereum, and I was just like, I can't believe I won this. But now I can imagine that would be worth at least like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 Ethereum.
Well, and everything, would you say, Matty, that people tend to just price everything in ETH? So as Ether has gone up in price, you know, I look back at pieces on Super Rare. Super Rare cleverly shows you the price in USD based on the USD price at the time as well. So you look back and you'll say, hey, someone bought this for $30. And that was $30 was maybe 0.05 ETH. Well, that's not what 0.05 ETH is worth now after this year. So, you know, all of the artists, all the creators, they're also benefiting from that upside on the price of Ether. So it's
interesting. Like, you know, some people want to see a USD gain. I and many people in the crypto space want to see an Ethereum gain. And now that Ethereum is going up in value, it's one of those things, well, I mean, hypothetically, if Ethereum hits $1 million, you're not going to be seeing people sell their art for 3 to 5 Ethereum, right? There is some sort of like this reshuffling of pricing that needs to happen and is happening, where people are a little bit more hesitant to spend 3 Ethereum on a piece that they would have done maybe a few months ago. So they maybe spend a 1.5 Ethereum for them. And I think it's not that it's an issue. It's just it's a dynamic that's very hard to cater for. And also another big issue that we can really talk a long time about, but I'll just touch upon it now, is the concept of Ethereum going really high up in just token price, maybe $2,000 to $3,000 eventually. And then also gas fees obviously not helping with the amount of network activity on Ethereum. Suddenly you're seeing artists that are minting their art having to spend, $200-$300 just to mint their art, which they're definitely not going to do. So we might see a big slowdown actually in not just the NFT space. I don't know how this is affecting Uniswap or even just exchanges, but I'm sure people are kind of like hesitating transacting if they're paying hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, what's the price of gas right now? Gasnow.org shows that it's between 63 Gwei and 128 Gwei if you do a transaction in less than 10 minutes. I mean, that's
not that bad considering that it was like 200, 300 Gwei.
Oh, it was 650 Gwei per day. Yeah. That's the one thing in DeFi with NFTs. As long as you're transacting on Ethereum, you don't want to be transacting on days when prices are going up. Which
I feel like that's going to continue to happen now, because I can't see the network getting less. More people are going to use Ethereum, and then Ethereum is going up in value, which we all love because we hold bags of Ethereum. But at the end of the day, if it makes these platforms unusable to the point where there's a standstill, especially Rarible. Rarible had a ton of volume back in the day, but now like artists that sell, say, 0.1 Ethereum worth of pieces, they're definitely not going to spend $200, $300 on those sorts of platforms. So
that's right. Yeah. Actually, Matty, so I have one final question with this. With crypto art, like with all the platforms we've talked about, I guess, like where can one get started who doesn't have a ton of Ether? Like, because that's my concern. Like when I think about DeFi and I'm like thinking about who can we onboard to DeFi, who can we get using like Zapper. It kills me when fees are high because it prices people out. One of the things that's concerned me with what I've learned in a short time is, I mean, Matthew from Cent was telling me like, hey man, going with like 0.05, 0.1 ETH, see what you can find there. And this was on Super Rare. Gosh, it feels like everything's just bumped up that much more. Like, am I wrong? Like, am I not looking in the right places? Like, where would you go as someone, who's working with more humble amounts of ether to buy digital art?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, because, if you want a good artist, you got to pay up. If you want a new artist that isn't found, then you have to buy and I guess promote them a little bit. You have to help them get into Decentraland, maybe build a gallery and put their art in the gallery, try and get their art across in different venues. You have to be part of their growth, right? As someone that collects their art. And so if you have a small budget, then you're going to have to pick up artists that aren't well known and that don't have that much demand. So I'm sure there's plenty of those on Rarible. Super Rare. Although it shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, these are all NFTs and they're all kind of worth as much as each other, whether it be Super Rare as a platform or Known Origin. It does matter in terms of, because there's more people watching Super Rare and there's more people watching Nifty Gateway, so there's more demand there specifically. I guess they're the standout platforms. So Super Rare, I'm sure you can definitely find some artists if you deep dive into it. But I think Nifty Gateway is really cool because what you can do with Nifty Gateway, and you can kind of deposit Ethereum, and then once it's there, then you can just buy and sell without continuing to pop up and approve transactions. And it's a little bit more newbie friendly because they don't have to keep paying $30, $40 in gas fees every time they buy something. They can just do the once-off deposit and then buy whatever they want. And also, Nifty Gateway have their drops, and they're priced quite well. I mean, you could have got a ferocious piece for $350, which is like 0.3 Ethereum, which is pretty cheap for a ferocious piece.
Yeah. I think that what I would take away from what you just said is that if anyone has participated in token communities or a DeFi community, just if you've seen a community grow around an application. So in the case of DeFi, we see applications launch and they grow in total value locked. Yeah, it can really mean something that you're there for the journey. And so it seems like one idea could be that you're looking for, artists that you think are less appreciated, and just by, trying to showcase them. Like I did buy 2 pieces from this guy, Matty Furious. I think the art's just really cool. I'd love for more people to learn about his work. And I guess I didn't think about the fact that, this art could go up over time. This is what I paid. I paid 0.165 Ether for this, which was $101 at the time. So whatever 0.165, it's about 100. Yeah, it's in dollars. It's gone up something. I don't know. I haven't listed it. So anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is, go be supportive of others, doing good for others will never, I think, get you hurt in this community.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of learning to be done as well. So if you're in the NFT space, don't worry about investing straight away. Just absorb it all for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It takes a lot of time to be like, oh, well, what's Super Rare? What's Nifty Gateway? You see a drop happen. You see people talk about what they put their money in, what went up, and then which artists you start to like, certain artists, or, it's such a big space that you can't just go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and be like, oh, well, the graph's going up, I'll buy. The graph's going down, and do some TA for the next couple of days. It's just like, you really got to absorb this stuff before you park your money. One, because it's low liquidity as well, and 2, because it's if you're kind of making hesitant, if you're making really quick kind of purchases and you're buying something that no one really wants, then you kind of just you're going to have a dead investment, whether it be art or something else. So yeah, take your time with it. That's
right. Well, hey, Matty, I appreciate we really did cover everything we did. What I was hoping we would cover, and went way over, but hey, whatever. That's what the people demand. And again, we're just really grateful to learn from you. There's so much cool stuff here to cover. Well, I want to remind everyone then you can follow Matty on Twitter at DCLBlogger, subscribe to his YouTube channel, just search DCLBlogger. And also a reminder, we checked out earlier events.decentraland.org. Go to Decentraland and check it out. Just connect your MetaMask and have fun, or whatever wallet you use. And other than that, Matty, anything else you want to share before we go?
No, take your time. The NFT space is a lot of fun to be in, or even just witness happen. Everyone's just so happy seeing creators get paid, and it's not your average kind of cryptocurrency, park your money here and talk about price action. It's like, okay, well, there's actual progress here. There's innovation going on. People are selling tweets one day, the next day they're doing all this other fun stuff. And I just like being part of it and watching it all happen, and even just having conversations on Twitter about it. I love that sort of thing. So take your time and explore what's out there. I think it'll pay off, even just learning about what's there.
So cool, dude. I hope you can hear my daughter screaming in the background too. She's really losing it now. But I'm gonna go down and save my wife from her. So a reminder to everyone: tomorrow we'll be back around 12 p.m. Eastern with Gabby from Yield Guild Games, and then, or Yield Guild, I think is the proper name, and then Linda from Scalar Capital. So we'll be talking more NFTs tomorrow, actually, for another episode of Yield TV. So Matty, thanks so much, man. I'm gonna just hit the outro video here, and everyone stay safe. Thanks so much, and don't forget to subscribe at tv.zapper.fi. So bye, Matty.
Hey guys.
Guys.